Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahar Rakah Kadash, doubling us to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, the Akims on the highways and byways, and those pushing this word in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Something I want to quickly give some thoughts on is feelings and emotions. You know, we have to try, when we're in this walk, to not operate in those zones, you know, in our feelings, or when we're in certain emotions. You know, in the world they tell you, you know, if you're upset or irritated by something, to take 5, because they know that once you sort of calm down, you're a bit more rational with your thought process. Now I remember a good number of years back, I did this course at work. Just took a one-day course, and they kind of sectioned the brain into 3 sections. So the front part was like your reasoning part, the middle part, and that's the zone you want to be operating in. The middle, I can't remember how they described it, but it's not too bad if you're in that zone. But the back part now, they refer to as the primal zone. And when you're in that working that zone, it's like you just react to things. There's no thought process. You know, one of the best ways I can explain it is like when I was young, I used to go to the doctors. I'd be taken to the doctors for a checkup. They'll tell you to cross your legs, and then have like a little hammer thing that you use and hit you around the knee, and then your leg just out of reflex just, you know, just shoots out. When you're in that zone, that's how we tend to react. Like, we don't process anything, and we don't want to be operating in that kind of mindset. You know, we need to be being thoughtful. So it's like, basically, if we're upset about something, take time to calm down, be rational, and make rational decisions. You know, it's like someone that's, you know, I've heard someone say when they went to jail for the first time, and they got locked in the cell. They were there on their own, and they had time to think, and they started to go over things in their mind. If I hadn't done this, this wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't have ended up there. In this truth, that's the same kind of thought process we should have. You know, the scripture tells us to examine ourselves, but it's not just when, you know, you might at the end of the day be looking over the day, seeing how the day had gone, where I might be able to have improved if need be. It's also when we're in our feelings and emotions, you know, we're to examine ourselves, and that is to take time to calm down, try not to be operating in that primal zone, because we tend to do things which we can end up regretting, or say things which we can end up regretting because we're in our feelings and emotions at the time. You know, that's not how we're meant to be operating. And I always say that we come into this truth with issues. You know, it's not that we come into the truth and acquire these issues. We come into the truth with these issues. You know, these are ways which we have become accustomed to dealing with things throughout our lives whilst we're in the world, and this truth is meant to help us iron them out. And one of the things, you know, we're meant to be trying to work on, if it's an issue, because it's not always an issue for some people, you know, when they are upset, they will take that time to calm down before they react. But some people will react whilst they're in that primal state, you know, and end up regretting what they did or what they may have said. And this truth is meant to help us iron out various areas in our life where we have issues. You know, so that's just something I want to touch on. You know, let's try not to operate and do things out of our feelings or our emotions that we're in at that time. Take the time to calm down so that your thought process can be rational instead of irrational, because that's what happens when you're working, like I said, in that primal zone state. You know, there's no reasoning in that area. You know, that's one thing I remembered from the course. There's no reasoning, you just react and you want to get back to working in that front lobe state, you know, where everything is measured. You know, you've you know, what's the word I'm looking, you've gone over the situation and, you know, seeing what's the best way to deal with things, you know. But yeah, that's just something I want to touch on. And let's try and work in a rational mind state, not in a primal mind state, you know. And that will only happen when we're in our feelings and emotions and we don't take time to calm down, to cool down, you know. Because at the end of the day, this walk, it's a walk we're gonna have to be doing till the day we die, or till the Yahushua returns, whichever one comes first for us. And it's all us improving. That's what it should be, on us improving, becoming that better man, that better woman, so that when the Lord returns, we're in the best state possible for him to receive us. You know, if we don't, we have to remember as well, when we react to things out of our feelings and emotions, the scripture does say we'll be judged for everything we do or what we say. So this is another reason why we need to be allowing ourselves to calm down, so that we can deal with situations in a better manner. Because if we just react to situations out of our feelings and emotions, we might do something, then the next thing you know, the Lord is judging us. You know, the offense, you might have been in the right to be upset at the offense, but then the way you dealt with that offense, are you now bringing judgment upon yourself? This is things we have to bear in mind, you know. And some people may say, yeah, he was right to react that way. But then, you know, Paul made a statement. He said, everything is lawful, but not everything is what's the word he said? Expedient. So just because you're in the right to do something, it don't necessarily mean that you have to do it, you know. Just because you're in the right to do something, that don't mean you have to follow it through. Because if we don't follow it through correctly, you know, we just do a knee-jerk reaction, acting our feelings and emotions, then we can end up bringing, like I said, judgment on ourselves. And these are things we have to remember. You know, these little scriptures which hold a lot of great weight. You know, the scripture says in Sirach 19:24, better man with small understanding and fear of the Most High than one with much wisdom and transgress of the law of the Lord. And that one that has the small understanding and fears the Lord, they'll be worrying about how they react to situations. You know, they'll probably be that bit more mindful of not reacting whilst they're in certain feelings and emotions, knowing that, you know, we're held accountable for everything we do and everything we say. Whereas the one that's got all this great wisdom, didn't have enough wisdom to calm down, start working in that front lobe, and just reacted in that primal zone, you know, and then bringing judgment upon themselves. So it's just something I wanted to touch. Lord willing, it was edifying. You know, with that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahar, Rakar, Kadash, Kwame, Sha'Allah.